Hey, what's up, yo? Welcome back to another episode of my vlog. It is great to have you guys back. I know I've been missing uploads. I know I have. I don't really have too many excuses. It's been hard for me to come up with topics recently. It's just been hard for me to come up with things to talk about. But I've set aside some time to sit down and really think about things that I feel like that I would want to talk about. And I've made a list of things, and so I'm just going to kind of go down the list for each video and just kind of express my opinions on these things, whether they be fitness related or not, whether they be inspirational or not. Maybe I'll just ramble about shit sometimes, who knows. But so today I wanted to talk to you guys about masculinity. I think for me, masculinity has always been kind of an ignorant subject for me because I've been practically raised by a single mom my whole life. I've had male figures in my life. I've had, people, I guess, that everyone would think that I would look up to. But I've never really had somebody that I've really considered to be what I want to be when I grow up that's living in my household. I looked up to my dad before he died. I looked up to my uncles when I was little, and I still look up to some of them now. But most of my life I've been kind of engulfed in more of, I guess, I don't want to say a feminine mindset, but I've been exposed to more female energy than male energy. And I think that's really affected my life in terms of, and it's a good and a bad thing. It has its pros and cons, just like anything that we get in this life. Nobody's perfect. But I just think that the fact that I was raised by a woman a lot in my life, fortunately, it's been a rather strong woman, so at least I've learned things that, you would most likely learn from a male, such as, endurance, resilience, independence, whatever. But I think a lot of the things that I felt like I should have known when I was younger in terms of what it means to be a man, because I always knew what it meant to, to be like a good adult, like I've always known, the things that, society expects from you to be classified as a quality person. That you're supposed to make your own money, make your own decisions, have your own place, do your own thing, right? I mean, just the very basics, which is spread across the board. That's not necessarily specific to men, because obviously, women are pressed to get those things as well, right? Women, should have their own means as well, just as much as men, obviously, right? But for me, I feel like a lot of the things that I've been missing out on in terms of masculinity is just in the way that I carry myself, the kinds of decisions that I make, my thought process on things, the way that I look at myself, the way that I express myself, the way that I act around other people, and just a lot of the things that just kind of like encompass the idea of what a man, like a real man, looks like. I've always kind of had this kind of goofy, I'll say feminine kind of energy to me. I feel like, obviously those that know me well enough do know that I obviously have, masculine traits, and that I do things that are required of a man for sure. But in terms of my personality, I've always kind of been a, overly friendly, open kind of guy, where I've just kind of, I don't know, I just feel like I've just been kind of like a goofball per se for most of my life. And I think because of that, I probably lost out on a lot of respect from people, because everybody's always liked me. I've always got along with people really well. I never really had an issue with, making new friends or new associates, or just, being friendly with strangers. I've never really had a problem with that per se, and I think that's a big part of, why I am, or why I'm at where I'm at today, because of the connections that I've made and the friends that I've made, and just my kindness and my, my positive outlook on things and stuff like that. I know that that's attracted a lot of people to me, and I'm grateful for that. I know that I could have a potentially non-charismatic, boring, low sense of humor, personality, because I've seen that. I've seen that in people, and I just feel empathy for them, because I just can't imagine what it'd be like to be somebody that really struggles that much with their social skills. I mean, I've been blessed that I at least had the social skills required to where I still can impress people. I still can make people like me. But one thing that I feel like I've missed out on through most of my life is the idea of people really respecting me. I think that because of my kind of goofball attitude and my, over friendliness and my energy and stuff like that, I think a lot of people have always kind of looked at me as kind of like that class clown, like that guy that's like, oh, like everybody likes him, but it's like we wouldn't choose him to do, some huge job, right? Like we wouldn't choose him to, to take the lead on something, right? Because he's just too much of a goofball. He's a great guy. We all love him, right? But it's like we don't want to give him any real responsibility. We don't want to, trust that he can really handle something as a man, right? Because he's that goofball, right? He's got that feminine energy. And I think, I've done a lot of recollecting on that, or I should say thinking. Yeah, I've done a lot of thinking on that. And I don't know, I just think it's time for a change. I'm not saying that I'm not going to be myself anymore, because that's a total lie. I mean, obviously for the people that I know well enough, I'm obviously still going to be myself to a degree. But I really want to try to learn how to, be more, what's the word? Be more like, just kind of sturdy and more, just have more of a masculine energy. I'm trying to, the people, because I have a new path that I've set up for myself right now in my life, and I'm not really going to go into it because I don't really want to talk about it until it happens. But during this path that I go down in my life, and during these next few years, I really want to try to build a network of people that, genuinely respect me, and not just that kind of respect that like, oh, he's been there for me and he's a great guy, and so yeah, of course I respect him. But that's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is the kind of respect where, people know what you're capable of. People don't doubt you. People don't think that, you're incapable to any degree. I want to be the person that people feel like they can call on to get the job done, right? I want to feel like people can trust me to lead. I don't want to be looked at as that class clown that, oh, hey, he's a real funny guy, but don't give him too many tasks or he'll overload or whatever the case. I don't want people to look at me like that anymore. During this new path that I've taken in life, and for the future, I want to be more genuinely respected, trusted. I want to be looked at as a leader. I don't want to be in that feminine energy anymore, that constant goofball, that super loud laughing, like, for the people that know me, but if you don't know me, I mean, I'll just say that I'm sure that you've met someone like that in your life, who is a great, obviously a great person. He has a very good heart, whatever the case, but subconsciously, like even if you don't mean to, subconsciously you look at that person as like, oh yeah, he's all right, but I'm not. Like, I feel like there's someone else more capable to do a big job or whatever the case, right? Because as much as you love him or like him or whatever the case, you feel like deep down like there's somebody better that you can trust, that's more emotionally mature, emotionally stable. Because that's another thing too, guys, is like throughout my whole life I've struggled, and I'm just starting to like realize this now and like to try to get over it. I've been a very emotional guy, and I think that comes from, again, being raised by a woman, being raised, just in that mindset. I've just always been a very emotional guy. Like I've always been very sensitive, and the people that are in my life, they appreciate me for that, and that's cool and all. But I want to start making new friends that are in terms, that are more of the type of friends that I feel like I can really, go to, and they're like, well, they look at me like, wow, Leon, like, we really respect you. Like, we want to be like you. We want you to lead us, So that's kind of my idea on masculinity. I think that, another thing too to touch on as well is I think that a big part, and I'll go more into this in a different video, but I think a big part of the history that I've had with women has to do with that kind of feminine energy, kind of that nice guy, overly caring, overly kind, overly open guy. I think that's what's kind of caused a lot of the shitty things that I've been through with women, because I just kind of allowed it to happen. I just kind of thought that that's the way things are supposed to go. I thought that as a man, I'm supposed to just, sit here and deal with all this bullshit and hope things turn out better because I love this person, just completely, I feel like ignorant, to be honest. I feel like my perception of women and relationships, and I have no problem admitting this, right? I'm not that insecure guy anymore. I mean, I have insecurity still, but I'm not that completely insecure guy anymore to where I can't admit my faults. A lot of guys would rather punch you in the face than admit that they've done something wrong or admit their faults in the past. But I am completely content with expressing complete honesty in my past, because without the recognition of this honesty within myself, I wouldn't be able to make the changes I feel like I need to get to the next level in my life. And one of those things is just my absolute, trying to think of a good way to say it, just my absolute, submission to women. I've always been submissive to women, and that's not masculine. That's not a masculine trait. Men are not, I don't want to get into, this too much, because I don't want people to think that I have like a problem with women or something, because I don't have a problem with women. I love women. Obviously, I have great female friends, and I love women, like, duh. But I think by nature, men, are not supposed to be as submissive as women are, Like, I feel like if I get into a relationship with you and I'm just out the gate, I'm just doing whatever I can to keep you, I feel like that just makes me look like I don't have any options. That makes me look like I don't have anything going on in my life. It makes me just look weak. I feel like that just makes me look super weak, like, or like if I'm around a super hot chick, or I sleep with a super hot woman, or whatever the case, and you know, you can clearly tell that this is like completely new to me, that I've never experienced something like this before. You know, I feel like that's just going to turn off the women that I really want to have in my life, right? I don't want to be around fucking, you know, 5s and 6s and, right? I mean, not to turn women into a number, but I mean, that's the nature of things. There's no simpler way to rate people than on that numerical scale, right? So, I mean, I'm just tired of fucking giving in and being just so submissive to women that I'm not even that into. You know what I mean? Like, I've been with women for longer than I wanted to, and I'm not even that into them. I'm not even that into them. It's just my mind, it was in such scarcity that I felt like if I left this woman, that I would somehow miss out on something that could have came in the future, or that I'll never find a woman like this again because of the few traits that I do like about her, right? So, but again, I'll get into that in a separate video. I know I just spent like fucking 5 minutes or so talking about that, and I shouldn't have done that. But yeah, guys, I mean, in general, I just think that it's time for me to become even more of a man than I really thought that I could be. I'm tired of having all of these kind of feminine traits that people just naturally kind of dismiss and don't really respect, even though they don't really intentionally mean to do it. Like, I'm not trying to sit here and cry about this, right? I'm not trying to express this in a way of like, oh, feel bad for me. That's not what I'm trying to say at all. I'm simply saying that this is something that I realize about myself, and this is something that I want to change. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I don't think there's anything, because again, that's, you know, if you sit here and talk about masculinity and you're looking for sympathy about it, I mean, that's the most anti thing. So that's not what I'm looking for, guys. I'm just looking for, you know, the people out there that have been in my shoes, that understand what it's like to be an only child, being raised by a practically single mom. I mean, my mom's been married to a couple people in my lifetime, but they both were not substantial enough that I considered them to be an actual role model. So, so yeah, guys, that's pretty much the video for today. I'm gonna try to start getting my uploads up. I'm gonna try to see if I can even do more than twice a week. But yeah, so stay tuned, guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Hope you got something from it. If you did, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. If there's anything that you guys would like me to talk about, let me know down in the comments. I'd be happy to talk about or answer any kind of questions that you have. But again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.